Hello YouTube, Forsaken Classics here. Today we're going to button up a few last things on Mojo. We're going to do electric cutouts, transmission mount, we're going to tighten that down, and we got to tighten up the bumpers here. Plan is to get it roadworthy so we can start using her to pull other stuff home, get it fixed up, and sell it. To help us accomplish these goals and know what we have to do left, I'm going to put a list. Where did that come from? Anyways, alright, so this is everything we need to take care of. Like I said, cross member, need to tighten the bumpers, and electric cutouts. And as we accomplish them, we're going to cross them off. So we're going to begin with the front bumper here. I'm going to try to find some bolts to get her somewhat tightened. I don't have the chrome ones. I do eventually plan on putting new bumpers on this, so it really doesn't matter anyways. I just want to get on the road so we can use her. Okay, it's been a few minutes. So, unfortunately, I cannot find any hardware. I need to go to the store and buy some. So, we cannot work on the cross member because I do not have hardware to mount it to the frame. And we cannot do the bumpers. So, what I need to focus on are the cutouts. This is why you're seeing this video most likely Wednesday instead of Sunday like normally. So with that being said, I'm going to move the camera and we're going to start on explaining the electronics of that. I need Editing Don to take a screenshot of this. Hi, it's Editing Don. Please feel free to pause the video as long as you'd like to be able to read this fully, so I can explain better how we're going to wire this switch here. Because, here, let me get comfortable. When you have a DC motor, you can run the polarity a certain way, positive to one terminal. Let's say this is the leads of the motor. I know it's going to be hard to believe, or hard to see, but maybe. Okay, so you got positive and negative on your DC motor. If you reverse those, the motor will spin in the opposite direction. On our electric cutouts, this is how we're going to open and close them. They have a gearbox with gear reduction and yada yada yada. Anyways, this switch allows us to have polarity going one way and then the other. So when we hold it, they open, and when we hold the other way, they'll close. So well, maybe I don't need to have Editing Don do this anyway. Now listen here, previous Don, I already did the work, so it's going to stay in the video. On this switch, we have continuity between here and here when the switch is pushed this way, up. So imagine there's a little lever in here that is like straight when it's in neutral, but when you push the lever up, the lever goes down to this terminal. So these are connected right now, and these are connected right now. So when I let it off, it's in the neutral position. These are not connected to anything. Push it down, the opposite. These two are live then. So how we're going to do this is we're going to have positive come into these two here on the opposite corners and negative on the opposite corners here. So when we push it down, we have positive coming here and negative coming here. And when we push it up, we're going to have positive coming the opposite direction. I forget which one I said is why. Anyways, so we're going to get that wired up, and then we're going to run the wires through the cab, through a bulkhead of some sort, and down under the truck where the motors are for the cutouts. Now, a DC electric motor can be run in reverse by switching the polarity. Well, I guess any motors, but you have to have diode bridges and stuff like that. But anyways, we're focused on DC today. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and start crimping wires on here, and we're going to see how far we can get this under the truck real quick. It's Sunday morning, and I really think this is going to take a couple hours to get done. It's not going to be a short project, unfortunately. So hopefully by the end of this, we're hearing the exhaust with the cutouts open. It does cackle. Last time it did, and we'll have the bumpers attached. Well, heck, we'll probably end the video. Well, no, we can't drive it because I'm getting plates this weekend coming. So, anyways, let's get working. It's like magic, I'm right here. Anyways, this I believe will be a little bit easier to understand now that I got colors on them. So the red is positive, the black is chassis, ground, neutral, whatever. Anyways, so like I was saying, you push the switch this way, power is going to connect from here to here, and ground's going to connect from here to here. So it's going to send positive to the pink lead and ground to the yellow lead. Excuse me. And the reason I use colors like this is because they really don't mean positive or negative. They can mean either way. What's the word I'm looking for? Anyways, tell me in the comments. So when we push it the opposite direction, the yellow becomes the positive and the pink becomes the ground. So we have a reversing circuit, just that's done by this simple switch. So now I'm going to mount this into the dash, and we're going to run our ground to chassis and our positive to our fuse block, and these leads are going to go to our cutouts. So I'm going to do that real quick. It's real simple. You just take the retainer nut off, take the plate off, and we're going to push it through the dash. I'll be right back. I figured I'd bring you in here to show you what I have been doing. So first off, this is a switch. So I chose to mount it. That's not the final solution. I will be printing on my 3D printer switch bezels or something like that. Sorry about the wind. It picked up here lately, honestly. And also, I got the wires running under here. I have to tuck them in under the dash here, and then mount them to my fuse block, and then I'm going to run those two for the cutouts along here, and I think I'm going to do that with my speaker wires too. And then as for the ground, I actually took a button cap. Oh yeah, someone before I was born or something like that decided to turn this into a hot rod and couldn't exactly figure out where to put the switch holes. So let's just put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 holes in it. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Anyways, so I picked one of the holes. I tapped a 1/4-20 tap through it, ran a 1/4-20 tap, I should say, and put a button cap screw in it, so you can't really see it as much from up top here. You know, driver perspective, can't see it at all. But on the inside, we got a nut on it with an eyelet, so that should conduct the ground properly. And now we just have to run the wires, and next time you see me, we should be under the truck, routing them underneath to the motors. Alrighty folks, like I said, next time you see me, I'm underneath here. So these are my electric cutouts. They go from a banana plug like that, but we're going to snip that up and wire our wires coming through this cord grip. We're going to tie them on. Ooh, got windy. Got stuff in my eyes. Anyways, We're gonna tie them along the frame or something. Maybe this come out here to this frame. Yeah. Oh, there's a bulkhead right there. That's. Oh yeah, it's from the fuel line from the factory. That makes sense. Oh, piece of roof paper from the shingle guys. Nice. Okay, so now we're gonna run it up along the frame here to the cutout, and then we're gonna figure out how to get it to the other cutout on the other side. So what I'm thinking is come back through the frame. Oh, go along the cab maybe? Yeah, I'll tie to the cab and then go to that frame and over to that. So let's go ahead and we'll get everything roughed in, and then we'll pull it back apart, put the wire loom on like this right here, and I'll be right back. We have it roughly wired. It is wired nice up in the cab. So what I'm going to do right now is a proof of concept. So I'm going to head up there and hit the switch. You holler if it moves, okay? Take me a minute to get up there, so hold on. You ready? Let's see. Oh, guess I better put the key on. Did it work?
I like turtles.
I heard it moving. Alright, I'm gonna fire it up and let's see. That thing will work really good. Alright, so now let's take her all apart, put a wire loom on it, and tie in the other half. Pretty cool, ain't it? Okay, it's been a few minutes for me. It's only been a second for you, but this is how I ran the wire. Got it all loomed up underneath the sill plate through that cord grip. Then we're gonna go under. That's where it comes through. I gotta tape this up yet, but we got it split there. It goes up to the one right there along the frame channel. Then we took the other, used the cab mount frame, ran it all the way across down the frame to the other one. I have to tape that side up yet too. But now let's go ahead and hop in the cab and see how it sounds. Alright, we are officially in the cab again. Let's get her started up. Rev without. Not bad. Now let's open her up. That's a lot louder. Woo! Let's close that baby up. Just like that. We're quiet again. Alright, let's pull it off the ramps and cross it off the list. Okay, we got the cutouts taken care of, so let's cross that baby off of there. And the next thing we need to do is we're going to do the bumpers, but that's going to be another day after I get to the store and get some hardware. At the snap of my fingers, I should be wearing something different, and it will be a different day. I was probably trying to do something like a transition, nice transition, you know, have the truck in the same place, but a lot has changed since I've last recorded. So let's start with life, what's been happening. My work recently moved about an hour away from where it currently was, so I went up there for a few days, got my new replacement all set up. His name is Sentinel. He's my most recent subscriber. Thank you, Sentinel. I hope you're doing good up there. He does have my phone number if he needs anything. Anyways, so instead of trying to find a new job, I went out, got insurance and all that, and I'm going to try for a little bit to see if I can make it on my own, basically, because I've worked for multiple companies. They've all shut down or moved or something's happened, so it hasn't worked. I'm gonna try something different. So that being said, I'm going to use this truck as a tool. So what has changed is I tried to get it plated, get the title in my name, whatnot, because you have to, in Florida, drive it in if it's an out-of-state vehicle and they have to inspect it. Because of the age of the truck, they weren't able to verify the VIN, so I have to drive it an hour and a half away to their testing station for the region so that they could find the VIN, get it plated, yada yada yada. Anyways, to do that, I have to get this thing in shape. And because I'm using it as a tool, I'm not going to put the cheapest parts on. I'm going to put decent parts on, stuff that I can afford yet. And I decided to go with Summit Racing's Power Stop brand for brakes. And I bought loaded calipers and all that. I'll show you as I get them out. So we're going to change the calipers, rotors, pads, so that we have good stopping power. It's safe. I did install seat belts. I'll show you those in a minute here as well. I do not want to do a tutorial on seat belts because I don't want anybody to not do it exactly the same way I did and then they get hurt and then say, oh, I saw it on the internet. No, we're not doing that. So anyways, brakes, and then I have tires. The wheels on this are actually off of my Mustang, the orange one. So we're going to put new tires on these, and then when I sell the Mustang, I'm going to put these on that and put those wheels on this, because they're both brand new tires. The car will have a better resale value and it will be safe for the next driver. So that being said, we're doing the brakes today. We're going to attach the bumper because I got the bolts in. And what was the last thing? Oh, the trans cross member. I already ran a couple bolts in that, so it's nice, secure, and everything. I'll show you how I did that. And finally, there was something else. Oh, the cutouts that you saw me work on last time. Driving this to the DMV to get it inspected, I might have played around a little bit with it, and I put it to the floor and it didn't go anywhere. It was making a lot of noise. I looked back, there was a cloud of smoke, so I'm like, okay, this is the most power I've ever driven on such a light vehicle. So it was just burning out. Well, on the way home from the DMV in Mexico, I decided to do it again, and it actually broke one of the cutouts. It was fully shut, and it had so much pressure in the exhaust, it blew it open and broke the shaft. So that's something eventually I'm going to have to figure out as well. But for now, I bought block off plates for those cutouts. So we're just going to put those over the existing cutouts. So in the future, I could take those cutouts apart, off of here, apart, and try to figure out how to make them stronger. Maybe keep it electrical, maybe go cable style so that it's more reliable. I don't know. That's a future video. But for now, let's get these brakes installed. We already had a video of how to do brakes, so I'm just going to gloss over this time. If you want to see that video, I will include it in the description. With that being said, let's continue on this and get this road ready. So the reason I'm changing the brakes are, I did not change a mess with them since I grafted this cross member into this truck. This is original from when it came off of the car, the whole cross member. So this is why. Hear them dragging? We got locked up calipers that was making all kinds of noise on the way home. And you can see there is some burn marks on the rotors. So that is why we're changing them. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and pop the wheel off and get it swapped out. When we get to the caliper, I'll do a little more explaining of proper way to put it on and stuff like that. So that, you know, because I didn't cover that in the video I have linked down below. Alright, so I found something else that we need to fix. Like I said, I didn't repair anything on this before grafting it in, so this is what I found. Look at that ball joint when I shake this. That is no bueno. Top one is good, at least. Tie rod is good. So yeah, we're gonna be doing that yet today. So, little things about these calipers and installing calipers in general. Calipers are directional. They do have a left side and a right side. And as soon as I get this open, I will show you how to tell. Man, those are nice. Whew, crush washers and everything. Okay, so how we tell a caliper by side? You got the retaining bracket on this side, and your bleeder is always on the top of the caliper. If you put this on the wrong side, it'll be on the bottom, and you will not get all the air out of the pistons here. It's very important that the bleeder valve is on top. So it's actually so much easier to change a whole caliper while doing brakes than it is to do just the brakes, because if you saw in the last video, you actually have to clean all this up. Nah, we just slap the little spring clips in, throw the pads in with a little lube on the tabs, just slap that right on. So this should go really quick. Should. It's like saying quiet in the hospital. Wish me luck. As you saw, I changed the caliper out. It was probably really quick, but all you have to do to take this brake hose off is unscrew this bolt, pull the nut out, pull the bolt out, and change the little crush washers in here, one on each side of the banjo fitting here. So now, the reason I stopped the video, the time lapse, is when you get these, you know, about probably 15, 20 foot-pounds, let's start to click. There it is. Anyways, to seat the copper washer in it, you have torque on this bolt, but you do not have a perfect finish on both the caliper and the banjo fitting here. So you're going to take your small hammer and give that bolt a couple racks on it. Just little ones. You don't want to kill it. Then you take it, look, finger. Look how much more tight that got because of that. It's because we took that washer and we embedded it into the metal. So we'll do it one more time. Get about 15 pounds, listen for it. There it is. And just a little. There we go. So now that caliper is, the crush washers have embedded in it. We should not have any problems. Because remember, these brake lines are actually under a lot of pressure. So, brakes are done. Let's get the tire back on it and do the other side. I'm going to do that off camera. It's literally the same exact procedure for the other side. So with that being said, I will be back. And we're back. I got the other side already buttoned up and everything, but this side is the one with the bad ball joint, and I feel that's the most important thing to get taken care of so we can drive it up north. To do that, let me show you the part first, how this works. It's actually pretty simple, pretty cool, but we have a special tool here I rented it from the auto parts store with the Irish name. Anyways, but they did rent this to me. They take a deposit. It's like $150, but it's a refundable deposit when you bring it back. So this is a ball joint press, and basically how it works is you have this lead screw, you push into the one side, and you have the dies that you line up at the top, and you can press it out and then press it in. And what holds it in is friction from a sleeve, from the sleeve that it sits in. It's down, sorry. And then you have the snap ring right here on top that goes around this lip here, and you snap it on there, and she ain't gonna go anywhere. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to go ahead and take off what we just put on. I know, ridiculous, right? I should have done it first, but I had to look up how to do this because I'll be completely honest, I've never done one of these before. Never had to. I usually just replace the whole lower control arm, but we're in a hurry. They didn't have it, so we're just going to do the ball joint. So let me get this stuff off and I'll be right back. Everything's disassembled again. I had to take the tie rod end link out, sway bar end link. Take the brake rotor caliper off, the 2 bolts there. It was pretty simple. And then had to take the loaded strut loose from the bottom so we could raise the control arm up. I'll bring you in here, we'll show you. That's all. So you had to take that bolt out there, take that one off for the ball joint, and loosen the sway bar end link, along with taking the brakes off that we just put on, but that's all right. Anyways, we have access to it. I'm going to pull that snap ring off of there, and then we're going to press that out using this tool. After numbing my ears from the impact and pressing it out using the press, old one, new one. Yep, that's mine. All right, anyways, so I'm going to go ahead and press this back into reverse order, and we will slam everything back together, and then we're going to bleed the brakes. So what you'll see next is bleeding brakes. So I just, at this point, it's getting late in the day. I'm sorry, I want to get this done. If you have any questions, please put them in the comments. I will get back to you on them. But next time you see me, brake bleeding time. We're all back together, and I just went ahead and had Heidi help me bleed them real quick. The sun's starting to get close to the ground, and I don't want to be out here in the dark because it doesn't make good content for you guys. So I'll go through and I'll just explain how we bleed brakes. So, a little learning experience here. On the back here, take it back now, y'all. This little valve right here, there's a cap on it. It's called a bleeder valve. What you do is you have someone in the vehicle put their foot on the brake, and then you open the valve. Just crack it open like a quarter turn, however much, until fluid starts coming out of here. Once they get close to the ground, they'll say yep or holler something, and then you need to close that wrench real quick so they don't suck air back in. The goal of bleeding brakes is to remove all air from the system, because air cannot compress. I mean, air can compress, fluid cannot. So we need to remove the air so that the brakes do not feel squishy, because you'll have air trapped in here, which will be compressing instead of pushing the shoes together. Okay, so now we have the brakes done. Let's go ahead and, oh yeah, that feels night and day. Let's go ahead and put the bolts on the bumper. Get that taken care of. And then lastly today, we are going to take the plates that I bought for the cutouts and put them on there so we can get it nice quiet. It's not going to drive me nuts for the hour-and-a-half drive we have to make in this thing. So it'll be 2 seconds for you, like 5 minutes for me while I go find the parts. You know, it's like the whole, where is my super suit kind of deal.
You tell me what my car parts is, woman. We are talking about the greater good.
Greater good? I am your wife. I'm the greatest good you are ever gonna get.
Be right back. So we're up front now with the bolts that I bought. I got these off of eBay. They're a stainless bolt, but they look like chrome. They're shiny enough. They're shinier than that, so they should work pretty good. So what I have right now are just smaller carriage bolts with a wing nut. I did that to drive it to the DMV. Anyways, let's go and put the right ones on. I mean, it's real simple. You know, you just take the one out. It's a carriage bolt. They have little square heads to match there. Put your lock washer on, your nut, send her on home. So, you guys want to listen to some music? Some royalty-free music? Let's do that. It's on. You're going nowhere. Where you going? Nowhere. Anyways, down in Florida, we are not required to run a front license plate. So I want to make a custom one. You know, buy a blank one, and I have a vinyl plotter so I can actually make my own stickers. So I'm giving you guys some homework. It's real easy. What I want you to do is comment down below what you want this to say, or what logo, what icon. I'll run it for at least a week. If it's something embarrassing, it'll be about a week. If it's something really cool, I ain't gonna take it off. So most liked comment, even though I probably only get like 2 to 3 per video, but the most liked one will dictate what this says. So now that that's taken care of, let's oh yeah, the exhaust cutouts, let's cover them up, because you know it broke the one. So I'll be right back after I grab those. So yeah, I'm not very good at doing cuts. That's why it's real awkward. I'll get better. Stick around. You know, we got some pretty cool stuff coming up in the future. I'll be back. Just realized something. Probably should have waited until I got these done to take the jack out. Oh well. Anyways, right here, you can see if I can. They aren't doing the holdy thing because they broke. I guess the exhaust was too much for them. The cheap Chinesium ones. So either I'm going to modify these to be beefier, or I'm going to eventually break down and just buy good ones. But for now, put the cover plate on. We're literally just going to take the hardware out here, all 3 of those bolts. We're going to put the gasket and the plate on top and just bolt it all back together. Real simple. Won't have to mess with the wiring or anything like that. It's going to be really hard to get a good camera angle, so I'm just going to do it and then I'll show you, okay? Okay. Hey there. Anyways, this is what we came up with. I had a shorter bolt in that one. Reason being, have the ratcheting wrench on. You just go right over it. Real simple. Anyways, I'm going to go button up the other side, and then I think that's everything I want to do in this video. I'm not sure though. I don't know, stick around to the end. We might have something else. Ooh, let's go for a drive. Yeah. Our first, you know, legal one on video. Well, they were all legal. I mean, it was legal in Mexico where we were at, you know. Anyways, alrighty. I'll be back in a second. that's all for this episode of Forsaken Classics. I guess we can cross this stuff off. And we'll go to the gas station and do it there. But yeah, I figure this would be a good place to end the show. Thank you for coming along to the end. Got a lot accomplished, and hopefully this thing makes it up to Palmetto. Hey, subscribe if you want to, you know, make sure I made it. I'll let you guys know, but there's more to come. I really appreciate you guys being there, and you guys can help me out so much if you just click that like button and that subscribe button. Thank you all. I really appreciate you all, and you have a wonderful day. Thank you.